So one thing that people don't really realize about top psychics or highly advanced channelers is when you come into a session, we can only give you what we get. So whether it's in love and relationships, it could be their names, people that you've just met, people that you're about to meet, their descriptions, validation, anything. You only get what you're meant to get at that time. And there's a reason for it. You see, each of us are on our soul journey. And the people that we come across are either a lesson or a blessing. Welcome to my channel, guys. It's Annie, your psychic limitless mindset manifestation coach. So for those of you quite new, I use my very technical niche, raw, 1 in a billion ability within manifestation coaching. That's right. So I coach. I'm not an ordinary coach because I'm just psychic. And what I've done recently is I've launched this YouTube channel to help a lot of people in terms of educational awareness. But in this video in particular, I really want to stress the importance as to why you have to be very careful when you're compiling that list of your desired person. So the first rule of thumb that I'm going to give you is you got to be spiritually smart. Don't manifest or don't compile that list of a desired person from the shallow end. Now the shallow end is what we call the superficial energy, and anything in a superficial energy that is 3D, yeah, and that doesn't stick, that doesn't last. So what you want to do is compile a list from a place of looking internal. So what that means is, how does the person make you feel, your emotions, their mental capability, their emotional intelligence. Yes, physically attractive as well. They have to be. Sexually, you gotta have that attractiveness, so you can put that on your list too. But you've got to compile that list from your authentic energy. What is true to you? What feels real to you? Now, unfortunately, a lot of people start tapping into this kind of energy near enough the mid-30s, late 30s. And if you are just below mid-30s, I want to say to you and highly encourage you to be very spiritually smart by following this sound advice. Now, the reason I say this is because I give a lot of love and relationship insight, and a common theme of it all is you'll find people manifesting from the 3-dimensional way. Why? Because they haven't really got behind themselves, their inner work, their energy. So I'll give you an example. There is a young lady, and I'm so proud with how far she's really come. But the first time she ever sat down with me for a session, it was around love and relationships. And instantly when I connected with her, I got the name, I got the location of the person, the description, everything about the person. And she's like, I don't know who this person is. And I was like, oh my God. Even I freak myself out with some of the downloads that I get. But this is the person that she met 3 months later. And then she came back to me because she met him, she started dating him. And she said, Annie, you did not tell me that this guy was an ass. And I said, right, let me explain something to you. When you come to me, I give you what you get in that moment in time. Sometimes we are not allowed to see the bigger picture, because you coming into the encounter of that person, you had a lesson to learn. I said to her, were you not manifesting a guy with money? And she's like, yeah. I said, okay, so you were manifesting from the superficial end, and as a result of that, that's the download that I got from the universe as to who's going to be on your pathway. And she's like, oh, okay. So I was like, you had to go through that ordeal with that guy to learn a lesson. And that is, you wanted an emotional connection. You wanted a connection with a person. So her going through that journey, something just switched. And she's like, right, why am I going to do that? Why am I going to do that again for? And that's what I highly encouraged to her. I said, okay, you can continue with that superficial, shallow list and you're going to get the same results, or you can tweak that list and start attracting from an authentic 5-dimensional place. And that's exactly what she did. Now, the problem with people, particularly around love and relationships, and why you find people in and out of relationships, in and out, is because they're not going back to that list. They're not. So The most important thing about the universe that I want you to know is when it wants you to learn a lesson, and that lesson is purely for your spiritual growth, if you don't learn that lesson from that one person, you're going to learn that lesson again, but from a different person. And that's exactly what happens. And I see time and time again, psychically, I do. So until you learn that lesson, you're not shifting anything in your energy field. You're going to produce the same results. So I always say to people, go back to that list, whether it's a shallow list that you've written, and start writing it from an authentic place, from a place of what it is that you truly desire, looking inwards, not looking outwards. No. So go through that list, the one that you've written from the authentic energy, and ask yourself, do I have those qualities within myself? Do you? Because you want to be in a relationship where you complement each other, not complicate. Now, don't get me wrong, some areas of your life you may be opposites in, but that's okay. Opposites can attract, but the energy has to remain quite balanced. But the more you get behind that list, guys, I'm telling you, the more you're going to shift your reality. Now, on top of that list, you also need to work on the inner state. Yeah, the inner state. And I say this all the time to a lot of people. Unless you don't work on your inner state. So let's say, for example, you have a fear of being alone, right? Unless you don't address that, what you're going to do is attract someone that's quite similar to that. And it's like you've come together, you're both stuck together because you have a fear of being lonely, but it's really superficial. You see where I'm going with this, guys? Or you can take that same example and say, for example, you have insecurities. There's some insecurities about you when it comes to relationship, or you feel that, oh my God, that girl's way out of my league. Like, I would never be able to attract her. Why you saying that? You're probably never going to attract her. Yeah. So your words and your thoughts are very, very powerful, guys. So be very mindful as to what you put in your energy field, because you could potentially lose out on great opportunities. Another point is people end up self-sabotaging their own manifestation. Yeah. So there was this guy, a client, and this lady came on his pathway in form of a connection, right? Because he didn't do enough inner work, he felt very insecure. He wasn't confident. He's like, oh God, I could never get her. Well, you know what? You just said it. You can never get her. So guess what happened? You never got her. Missed opportunity. And when I connected with him, I validated all those opportunities that he had, right? Even dates, like unbelievable. Like I was getting dates. I was like, what happened on this date? He's like, oh. I was like, what happened here? He's like, oh, those were your opportunities. So you missed them. Can you see the importance of your inner work? And he's like, yeah. But don't get disheartened by that story, guys, because that's something that I'm actively working on with him. So that we're going to turn it around pretty soon. So I say it to my clients all the time, I'm like, you're bloody lucky I'm your coach, because I ain't an ordinary coach. They're like, yeah, honey, we love you. Yeah, I love you too. So when you're ready to learn more about me, you can head over to my website here below. You can even register your interest for the warrior group. I currently do have a wait list though. I'm not going to lie. And you can check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, but you can like and subscribe. And until then, I will see you soon.